RyGrows, and I really do appreciate Drug TV hitting me up. Uh, I had a lot of fun smoking and hanging out with him. He showed me a lot of new things that he taught me with gardening and stuff and whatnot. And I really do appreciate you. And I really do love the cannabis community.
Welcome to My First Time, the show about your first time getting high on marijuana. I'm your host, Mike Freeman with Dro TV. Today, I'd like to welcome our guest, RyGrows. What's happening, my friend?
What's going on, man?
Not too much, just enjoying the sunshine. You can find more of RyGrows on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. We'll have all the links in the description below. So, Rye, thanks again for coming on Dro TV today. Let everybody know where you're located and what you got going on in the cannabis community.
Well, I'm RyGrows, and I am a New York grower, and I started growing cannabis just recently in last year in October, and I love the nature aspect, so I decided to grow cannabis and share with my knowledge and what I already know with gardening and stuff, because I used to garden with my dad. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna grow some cannabis and teach the community what I already know, and that's why I started my YouTube channel and started growing. So all these new growers that just get legalized in another state can be like, okay, this is how I grow it. Now I know how to grow because of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I don't need the street and a house number, but whereabouts in New York are you? Upstate? You're closer to the city?
I'm in the middle of Buffalo, New York, and Rochester, New York. I'm right in between there.
Okay. That's where my girl's from. Forget the name. She was like out in the weeds, but her dad was in like Avon Park, and a lot of her family's still outside of Rock City. So um, cool, man. Awesome. I've yet to go up there
Yeah.
myself, but I hear it's very nice. The Lilac Festival, we tried to get there one year, and it already happened, so we missed it. But
Yeah,
uh,
it's nice up here, but the weather can be unpredictable sometimes.
yeah, I'm from Massachusetts, so I know it's not completely the same, but unpredictable is definitely in the cards every day of the week. Uh, so, right, this show's my first time, bud. Please tell us about the first time you got high.
Well, my first time getting high was with my brother. I was about I knew about cannabis when I was 12, but my first time getting high was when I was about 14. My brother came into my room. It was a school night. He couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I'm sitting there playing my Game Boy, and he's like, "Yo, you want to smoke?" I'm like, bro, what is that? He's like, "Don't ask any questions. Just come to my room and smoke." So we smoked, and I was so laid back and chill, but I remember hearing sirens in the background when I first started smoking, yo. I was so paranoid, but man, to this day, I love cannabis, and I use it for my PTSD. I went through a house fire, so I use it for PTSD. I use it for sleeping, and I use it for back pain because my back's all fucked up from working with concrete, construction, and roofing. So that's why I use cannabis, and That's why I first started smoking is with my brother. And he's first introduced it to me, and I'll never go back. Honestly, I'll never go back. I love cannabis, man.
And this is an older brother, I assume.
Yeah, he's about 2 years older than me.
Okay. Is he still smoking cannabis?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool, cool. Uh, any like okay, so you heard the sirens and all that, but uh, what did it do anything before I asked that question? What you smoking on, Ride Gross? What do you got there?
Right now I'm smoking on some fruity pebbles that I got from one of my friends. Uh, he ended up gifting it to me. He's like, "Yo, try this." he just got done growing with it, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot and give you some feedback. Because I gave him some of my white rhino that I had, and he loved it, man. He absolutely loved it. So I got him started with growing.
Nice. Awesome. So when you first smoked with your brother, I mean, I know you're only 14 years old. A lot of concepts we have as adults are null and void for a teenager, but did you feel anything medically? Did you, I mean, obviously you felt good, you felt chill, but when did you realize that this was more than just a plant to get high?
Well, when at first I just loved getting high, right? That was an everyday thing. Me and my brother would do it from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. Do it after school, whatever. And I started realizing it once I started working more because I've been working for a long time. Like I was working under the table. I started working at a farm under the table, and like I was in the restaurant business, construction. But once I started doing like a lot of factory work jobs, more heavy lifting jobs, that's when my back started hurting more. So I'm like, all right, I'll use cannabis for back pain. So I started using it for back pain, and then like I went through a house fire, and then I wasn't able to sleep. So I I honestly use it every day just for that reason. I don't even use it to get babes like I used to back in the day because I thought it was cool to get high with all my friends and my brothers. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a lot of a similar story myself. I mean, I started in 97 smoking and then it turned into an everyday thing. And then I always knew there were medicinal benefits to it, for it, or from it. But yeah, I mean, like you said, you get older, you work a couple construction jobs and you realize that, you know, as much as it gets me high, I also feel a lot better. My
Not
body,
only that, if you smoke a sativa before you go to work, it gives you all that energy and motivation to go do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Even if you don't want to go to work that day, you smoke a sativa. Okay, now you got all this energy. You just go do stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Um, so you've been growing for about a year now?
Yeah, about a year and a half now.
What motivated you to want to start a channel and kind of document everything that you've been doing?
Well, I love nature. That's a given. I used to go on nature walks with my brother, just go smoke and walk in the trails and stuff. So I got into growing because I can come home, touch my plants and stuff. And some days I'm stressed out. I have anxiety too. So like some days my anxiety is really bad, and I just go in my tent. I feel so much better, dude. I don't know what it is, but those plants, dude, they give me a feeling that like nothing would be able to give me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I couldn't walk outside and feel that way. I come into my tent and I feel totally different. It's, it's just amazing. The plant itself, there's just so many different aspects that it shows. You can learn so much from it. It just makes you want to love nature even more, man.
yeah. There's definitely something to, especially when you start from a germinating seed, and then you see week after week, and have it culminate to, you know, whether it's a plant or a vegetable that you consume, or it's, you know, marijuana, something like that. You know, it really, like you said, encapsulates nature and gives you more of
Absolutely.
this feeling that you're attached to Mother Nature and everything else. Are
You get to
you?
see stuff that you've never experienced, like the bugs that you would get from cannabis plants. You wouldn't see that outside. There's a lot of different nature aspects that you wouldn't see. So like you would see all these. So talking about aphids or like these little white flies, I had no idea about until I seen them. Because you don't see white flies outside. You see normal flies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Actually,
like
reminds me. It reminds me, I got to go out and sprinkle some diatomaceous earth on my squashes because I'm getting squash bugs and That's something I have here. I gotta.
Yep, or perlite. That works too. Just putting perlite around it will work.
So I'm getting some bugs and ants, and I think the ants are the ones that are eating my squashes because when they get about this big, all of a sudden the next day they're gone. And I did see what looks like some squash bug eggs, but I just see ants constantly. So I've been looking into like I like organic and natural types of pesticides. I mean, I'm going to eat the stuff, so
You could
but
use neem oil. That'll get rid of like a bunch of pests and stuff.
yeah,
I,
neem oil I've been looking into. I've been even looking I try to like make as much as I can myself. And we have a bunch of diatomaceous earth for the pets and everything. We sprinkle on the carpet. Um, but I've been looking into like a peroxide. It's like 3% hydrogen peroxide, and you just spray it on, and that's supposed to. I mean, from what I read, you're never going to eradicate the squash bugs. The most effective methods to go out there with gloves and to pull them off with tape. I don't have time for that right now, but um, so I'm also kind of like yourself. This is like the first year I've had a garden. No cannabis plants, please don't show up at my house. But this is the first year I've had a garden, so I'm just experimenting. I'm planting on this side of the yard. I'm planting in this pot, planting in this ground, really to just see like what happens. And
It'll come though. You're gonna be able to grow cannabis. Just give it time. I,
yeah,
and it's gonna be awesome because you're gonna have all this knowledge from interviewing all these growers and
sure.
stuff. Like it's awesome, man. It's awesome.
And I'll keep it real too. If I want to grow it, I'll grow it. I just, I don't have room in the house, and I'm running out of. I mean, there's lots of good weather down here, but um, you know, it's much more difficult outside, especially in Florida. So I don't know. Remains to be seen. But so are you? I know you worked. You put a video out recently of a compost tea. You starting to grow other things, or you just focused on cannabis right now?
Well, I'm gonna be moving here soon. Um, but a couple things came up, so I had to postpone the move till almost October now. But yeah, no, I'm finishing up all my cannabis run. All that's gonna get done, and I'm gonna start packing. But when I move, I have ideas to start a bedding outside and get vegetables going. Absolutely, I love vegetable gardening and stuff. Like I said, I used to do that with my dad all the time when I was younger. I was out there tilling. I learned how to till when I was like 10 years old,
Nice.
dude.
Nice. Okay, great. One of our affiliates of the show, I'm an affiliate of this company called Food Forest Abundance, and their whole business plan is to turn lawns into gardens. We didn't, people really didn't have front lawns and backyards that we mowed 100 years ago. I mean, even up in upstate New York, there are a lot of farms. They just kind of they just grew, and then in the winter everything died, and they weren't out there every weekend wasting hours of their time. And so the purpose of Food Forest Abundance is to let's take this space and turn it into a permaculture food forest where you're planting things next to each other, above and around each other, where there's little maintenance involved. If you go into the woods and you come across a coconut tree or mango trees, there's somebody not there maintaining these things on a daily basis. They're just growing naturally. So
Absolutely. Nature has its own way, man. You could just
yeah,
put something outside and let it grow, and it'll just grow.
yeah. And Food Forest Abundance, they create a blueprint for your yard. If you live on a balcony, if you have a balcony in the city or something, they can, as small as 100 square feet, um, put a blueprint together for you to start planting some stuff. So want to give them a shout out real quick. Hey everybody, I want to quickly mention Food Forest Abundance. Food Forest Abundance is a great way to create your own self-sustaining food forest and naturally occurring ecosystem that's commonly found in nature, but designed specifically for you. Through multiple layers of trees, shrubs, herbs, vines, rhizomes, mushrooms, and perennial vegetables, you can become your own supply chain without the typical maintenance required of a garden. From small spaces to large areas, both urban and suburban, Food Forest Abundance wants us to get back to our roots in nature by engaging with our food production in a meaningful way. For more information, click on the link in the description below and start your journey today. Okay, let's get back to today's episode. Yeah, so that's awesome, dude. So did you start the channel and then say I'm going to do cannabis, or was it I want to grow cannabis and I think we should start a channel so they can kind of like work hand in hand?
So I came up with starting the channel. I used to have a gaming channel. I think it was like 19 or 20. And I started a gaming channel and I just stopped doing it. But I love doing the video aspect. And cannabis was coming up and it was going to be legal. So I started watching a bunch of growers like Mr. Canucks and High Again and Basement Autoflowers, so on and so forth. And they actually persuaded me to start a YouTube channel and them showing off their plans and showing other like people what to do. I was like, oh, I can make all these videos on how to do this, because a lot of people are hands-on learners like I am.
Sure.
And I thought, all right, I'll start a YouTube channel and I can start editing and doing what I love again, but doing what I love in the garden. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna make all these YouTube videos on how to top, how to defoliate, how to do this, when to do that. So everyone knows and they're not confused because when I first started, I had no idea. I was just throwing shit together and then I'm like, oh, I'll just go organic and I'll just make my own recipe up, you know what I mean? And it was successful. I had a successful run. And through halfway through my flowering stage, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. So started throwing money, putting money aside so I could get everything I needed to start it. Because I already had like a laptop and all that stuff that I needed to start my channel. I just needed to get a couple more things going. And then I was like, all right, now I can start and I can start showing the growing community all this new knowledge that I've learned.
Nice. What's your most successful video to date? Is it something silly or?
Actually, it's blowing up and it's still going up in views today. I have a deficiency video on every single deficiency a cannabis plant can go through. Whether it's boron, whether it's nitrogen, whether it's phosphorus, whether it's calcium, CalMag, like there's so much like magnesium, like there's so many different deficiencies. I think there's like 15 different deficiencies. But I went through and that video is almost at 1K views now.
Wow.
Yeah. And I released that like 3 months ago.
Nice. That's awesome. Great. So you move into a new spot. So we're going to see more than just cannabis growing videos, or what do you have in mind? What are some of the
Absolutely. I'm gonna be doing outdoor growing. I'm gonna be doing cannabis outdoor growing, and then I'm also going to be doing tomato plants, squash, some of the harder plants that a lot of people have trouble with. That's what I'm gonna be doing because I wanna. That's what my channel's mainly on. I wanna be able to help this community, not just the growing aspect, but like gardening itself, the gardening community out there. That's what I want. I want to be able to teach other people new things that my dad has taught me, or my grandpa, or just people I've known that I know that garden. I've learned a lot of new stuff, and not just from YouTube either. Like I have a right now I have a cannabis plant. It's a clone. It's a Girl Scout cookie clone, and I have it in a 4-inch pot, and I threw it in the flower. But I did a trick my dad taught me. And you put it on top of the pot with some soil, and it'll just dig its roots into that instead of trapping its roots in the one pot and not having nowhere to go.
Interesting.
It's called tricking the pot into thinking that the pot is bigger. That's what my dad taught me.
Is that a video that's out now, or is that something?
It's coming.
It's coming.
Coming.
Okay. Okay.
Coming.
Good. Well, hey, it's a good cliffhanger for everybody to go subscribe to RyGrows on YouTube, and we'll keep an eye out for that video because I'm interested doing some time lapse videos myself of kitchen scraps like celery stalks, well, the bottoms, celery, bok choy, carrot tops. So I'm doing some progression videos of those as well.
That's awesome. Like to see how it like molds and stuff.
Yeah, I got a wicked celery. I mean, in 2 weeks, it was almost like a starting to get the stalks back. I put it outside. I don't know if it got too hot. I mean, I have it sitting in like a boot tray as like a wicking station. Because from what I've read, celery loves water, so I pretty much like always have it in like an inch of water. I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
90 friggin' degrees out here, so it's like I don't think it I don't think sitting in an inch of water is like gonna kill it, but I don't know if it just got cooked because all the greens just died on me. So um, but this is why we do what we do, right? Because we test it and say, okay, this is what failed last time. How can we learn and figure out what to do for next time? Um,
Absolutely. It could just be the environment too, man. It gets really hot in Florida. I went there on vacation, and I don't know about you, but it was 90s the entire week I was there. So that alone, if you don't keep your plants watered, then
yeah,
you're gonna have an issue.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's been like 90 every day since like May. So yeah, it's uh I'm slowly getting used to it. I just close my eyes and remember like a foot of snow every weekend for like 2 months. And, and I'm like, yeah, actually I don't feel as hot right now, but uh,
Right.
I go through like 3 t-shirts in the morning. Like we walk the dog, I come back, I sweat through one shirt, go out in the yard for a little bit, sweat through that shirt. But uh so
I
I've
believe
had to expand my t-shirt collection, but
that. And your
uh
short collection, huh?
yeah. My girl's like, "You gonna get rid of these nasty gym shorts?" I'm like, "No, not. They're gonna deteriorate before anything because I'm not gonna wear good shorts outside." But so, dude, where you're located, obviously, you kind of only have what 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons,
About two.
about two. So, what are some of the things that are the easiest to grow, and what are some of the things that are the hardest to grow?
Well, I've had a couple issues with the orange creamsicle. That one I took 5 beans just to get one to pop. And,
Okay,
I've been having issues with this run, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Fucking the purple Skittles is a hard strain to run. I have had to give her nitrogen more than I want to. I've had to give her calcium more than I wanted to, and this is only through like the she's in this, going into the 6 week of flower on Tuesday, and she has been just hungry constantly. So if you don't want a really hard job and you don't want to be watering every day, don't grow the purple Skittles. Because I love challenges, but I didn't think this was going to be nearly as hard.
yeah, yeah, cool. Well, dude, it's been awesome chatting with you, learning more about your YouTube channel and the content you're providing for the cannabis community. You, we're here in Orlando, and we're trying to network and build a community here in Central Florida. Um, are there other people like yourself? Obviously, like you said, you grew up gardening with your dad. Are there other growers in your area that you're learning from, collaborating with? Do they have channels like yourself where you've kind of
A
picked up
lot
some
of them are scared. A lot of them are scared to start a YouTube channel. I was like one of the first to do it here in New York. I mean, I know a couple people on like a Discord from one of my friends that is a New York grower, but he doesn't really he doesn't really do he doesn't really like to share that type of stuff. Yeah, he's still kind of nervous too. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
not. I wasn't worried about it. I was like,
yeah,
yeah, weed's gonna be legal. I'm gonna start a channel. Screw
yeah,
it. But I know Chris Canaflower. I know you're gonna be interviewing him coming up. Just talk to him. He's a good buddy of mine.
nice.
And I saw you did do an interview with what's it that stoner girl on Instagram.
Golden?
Golden, yeah. I interviewed her on my YouTube channel.
Awesome.
And I can recommend one to you.
Sure.
420 Goddess. She's over on Instagram.
Okay.
She's a sweetheart, man. She would definitely tell you a lot about cannabis.
Is it Ember Lee?
Just type in 420 Goddess. Hang on.
Oh, I think I see it now. No, that's
It's Green Goddess, and then Miranda, but it's 420 Green Goddess 420.
okay.
And then when you hit her up, just tell her I sent you. She loves being interviewed.
Nice. Okay.
So,
Excellent. Dude, appreciate your time, my friend. It was great talking with you. Please let everybody know the best place that they can find you and more about RyGrows.
you guys can find me over at RyGrows XD on YouTube, or you guys can find me at RyGrows XD over on Instagram. And then I also have a Twitter that I started getting followers on, and I post on there every now and again. You guys can go follow it. It's the same as my Instagram and my YouTube.
Awesome. And as always, the links will be down below, where you can also go and click a like on this video for my man RyGrows here. Smash that like button, leave a comment, let him know if you're working on documenting some of your grows as well. And make sure you head over and subscribe to his YouTube channel. And also, while you're there, subscribe to Dro TV, because otherwise you'd miss great guests and interviews like this one with RyGrows. So appreciate it, my friend. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, smoke them if you got them. The cats took the joint. I don't know. I got an empty tube here and no joint in it. So it's probably
life.
It's probably like under the bed. That's where they like to take things. But nonetheless, thanks again, my friend. What's up, Dro TV family? You can now stream the audio version of all these episodes on your favorite podcast player. And if you like more episodes like this, check out this playlist we put together over here for you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. You don't want to miss more great content from Dro TV. Thank you for tuning in, and as always, smoke them if you got them.